Good. Just gonna go through, check all my lives. Hello to everybody on the VOD. Welcome to the stream. I'll get started in just a second here. Alrighty. Hello. Okay, so hi, I'm Ashley. I'm a character and creature concept artist and also sculptor slash, models as well. And basically what I do on this stream is treat this sort of like a sketchbook session. So it's like 4 hours long and I just take a sphere, make it into like some kind of random shape and try and find something inside of it, sort of the same as like cloud searching. You look up at the clouds, you're like, oh, I can see something in that. Kind of like, you're just trying to find like a cool concept within like the mess of polygons that I'm gonna make, and it will be a mess. That's sort of like the process. I'm like very much like sketchbook kind of like throw paint at a canvas type deal. Like it's not meant to be used in anything final. It's quite literally just an exploration session. So if that's like your thing and you want to have a lot of fun inside of ZBrush and kind of like not be constrained to the ideas of oh, well, I have to make this into something that can work inside of a game engine and be rigged, but you just kind of want to have fun with something, this is how I like to do that anyways. Hello 3D artist, how are you? Hi Flop, hi Sean, sorry, and hi Duman, how are you guys? How's it going? Okay, so no clue what we're gonna do here. I have been kind of away from my computer for a little bit. So we're gonna be getting back into it as well. So this is gonna be great. It's gonna be fun. No clue what we're gonna do. So because we have no clue what we're gonna do, I'm gonna grab, and we're gonna stay far away from what it is that we're doing so that we can see like a silhouette, because your first read is always the most important. So we're just kind of like looking for some interesting shapes. Maybe I can, that's like a happy face. If you ever lose symmetry while you're doing something like this too, you can just mirror and weld that. It's totally fine. And then let's see here, do just like really mess up the geometry here. I like to put on AccuCurve on my snake hook as well. Could probably do fun bend arc, but not in symmetry. Let's see. Yeah, could do something along those lines. And then it's a little, trust me, it's gonna look really gnarly before it looks interesting. So I'm just playing around with some of the deformers. This is like a perfect thing, like if you don't really know what it is that you want to do and you want to be a little bit more messy with something, so that could be interesting. I'm going to take a low res Dynamesh on this one right now, and so you can see with all of these stretched polygons, this is now usable geometry to sculpt on top of. So all of that stretching that I was doing, right, it actually creates kind of interesting sketching lines, if that makes any sense. And so you can get some really fun things to play around with within those sketch lines. And I'll just kind of keep repeating this process, looking for some interesting shapes. It is very much like an abstract way of working, where everything is very much shape driven first and foremost, and then from there you can kind of create what you want within that silhouette. So we can already see like we're getting something pretty cool just from this. I kind of want to like from the back here, looking at these guys. Maybe pull that up. It's almost like it could be crustacean, but also it has like an angelic feature to it as well. Hi Reaper, what's up? Do I have any base character bodies, models, or do I do everything from scratch? So if I'm doing something for production, then I do usually work from whatever that pipeline's base model would be. There's usually some sort of like an Uber mesh to go off of, or multiple Uber meshes, or base, like, you know, male, female, whatever it might be. It's dependent on the production. But a lot of the time there is at least like something to kind of go off of. If it's for my personal work, a lot of the time I like to go from scratch just because then I have a chance to implement anatomy that I might not have, you know, been doing studies for specifically otherwise. And so it's nice for me to just kind of learn and build up that skill, because I think when I'm doing something for myself, I'm not like always looking at being the most efficient, right? I'm more like, I just want to learn some foundational skills. I think speed in general comes from one, repetition and time anyways. Like there are things that you could do to make your workflows more efficient, obviously, right? Like so that things aren't redundant, which is where, you know, that would be useful in production, or if like you're making something in mass for yourself that you want to then sell as like a product or something like that. But when it comes to like art and enjoyment and growth and learning, I find that it's actually nice to start from nothing in a sense, because then you have that opportunity to like reinforce those foundations. Just a shellfish, holy boy. Yeah, like a holy crab. Holy crab. Sounds like something SpongeBob would say. Oh my god, like a holy horseshoe. We actually could do something like that. Because that is actually kind of a neat looking shape that we created here. Let's see. We could go ahead and go into the deformers here. Grab like a bend arc. Squish at the top. Maybe just a little. Or... oh yeah, there. That's kind of neat too. Down. So I like to do this sometimes, right? Just like finding something interesting. So this is more of like, it's pulling down, it's giving a feeling of lament. Maybe upwards is more like you know, aerodynamic and righteous. I think I want lamenting. Lamenting. What a crazy word to say. Lament. Yeah, we can just kind of go along with something like this and then start pushing and pulling. Alright. Let's go ahead, grab right here. Remember to re-enable your symmetry. After you're done using like a deformer of some kind. Because a lot of the time you have to like disable the deformer. There is no... okay, so Duman, when I'm talking about like blocking a sculpt, it really depends on the situation, right? Because everything that you do is very situational. So if you're working for a production, you should be considering the topology. You should be thinking, okay, is this even feasible within the realms of what I need to do for production? Or, you know, can it be 3D printed? Or can it like, you know, can it even work for whatever it is that I am using it for. However, when you're sketching, you don't have to worry about topology, right? And that's why I'm just like not giving any thought to it. I'm just kind of going with it. When you upgraded to Windows 11, I have not upgraded to Windows 11. Just a little bit of olive oil proceed to empty the whole bottle. Dude, my Instagram has been full of like, oh, you're, I can't believe that you're cooking with oil. Look at how many calories the oil is. And it's just like people with spray bottles with the oil now. Like that's like the new thing, apparently. I don't know. I don't know. I love me my olive oil. Let's see. What do we do here? Probably do the You're gonna hear him flinging stuff around, buddy. Hey, don't fling it around. Flinging his food around. It's like his new favorite thing to do. Just fling it. Shouldn't even say new, it's just kind of like his thing. We can actually like take this and we can repurpose it. Maybe like this. See, a great way to ensure that you are within the same design language that you're creating for yourself at the very beginning is to just kind of like reuse parts, just kind of duplicate them around. Something in here. Hi, Maddie. Hi, Leonard. How's it going? New sleep paralysis tune unlocked. Like the ibuprofen crab visits you. 2 shots, pours half the bottle. Plain raw cardboard, yeah. Yum. Yum. There's a couple of times that I was like on the Instagram reels and I saw like this was when it was first when I first started seeing like the reels and stuff like a while ago, this was years ago. Tried one of the recipes that I saw because I was like, oh my gosh, that looks really tasty. I can't even remember. I think it was like some fried rice thing, and it was the most disgusting thing I've ever eaten in my entire life. Like, and that isn't like a skill problem either. It was just I was following it to a T, and it's just like I'm never falling for this again. This like this this nonsense. God, they get you, know. They got me that one time. They got me. I don't fall for it anymore. When people like take the knife and they go across like the fried surface of like a potato or something, goes that noise, like the fried potato. You're like, oh, that sounds good. Or like the cheese pulls and stuff, and it's all fake. They write like some BS recipe underneath. It's like it's not even the recipe. Like that's not. It didn't work. It doesn't work. I'm not gonna get got anymore. You got your Jupyter printer? Nice, dude. It wasn't. No, I wasn't following your reps. This was like years ago. No, Instagram Reels. It's all there. It's all there to get you. You know. Completed Far Cry. Far Cry 3. Oh yeah, Far Cry 3 was great. I like that. That came out a long time ago. Oh my god. Yeah. Yeah, when yeah, the amount of like chives that they put on something. If they're like dumping chives on something, you just know. Or like a baked good and it's just like the powdered sugar. It's like I gotta put the powdered sugar on. Damn, dude. No shade on powdered sugar, like it has its place, but damn, does everything need powdered sugar? Okay, what are we doing here? Let's see. I could probably create some sort of a back piece here. Huh, weird. Something like this. Just this. So these guys. Where's my dynamic? So take dynamic off if you want local symmetry. There's like this little button right here. I show this all the time. You look at that, a magnifying glass. So you see this little thing that says dynamic. If you activate that, it highlights. This is a different form of symmetry that actually allows you to do dynamic symmetry along the axis of your gizmo, wherever it's facing, which is nice. Like if you wanted to do like a pauldron or something like that. But in this case, we don't want dynamic. So if you wanted local symmetry without that on, I don't know why they have it as like a default. I don't think it should be default because it's kind of like niche use cases why you would want the dynamic local symmetry. So turn the little thing off. You just have to click this little white thing right here, and now you have local symmetry, which will allow you, wherever your gizmo is placed, to do scales based on wherever that gizmo is placed. And I take this entire dude. 1 second, I'm gonna save really quick. Where's my dump? Monty's doing okay. He's I had to tie a little sock on his foot though. He's eat between his toes nonstop, as he does. But he knows how to drink now. He's done being stupid about drinking, so that's good. Eating still takes him like 3-4 times as long as it used to. So, but he's getting there. He's getting there. It's just the way he be. Why is that not? Just shrinking it down, just a wee. Just a wee. How's the music volume? Everything good? Hope so. Yay. Hi, house. How's it going? Creature with a butt. I mean, I could put the butt. I was just doing sort of like a carapace thing here. I guess, yeah, the butt technically could. Gluteus Maximus action. There we go. Quads will that way. There you go. There you go. There, has a butt just for you. Shh. You'll never know though. No one will know. The TikTok, okay, I've had feta pasta before though. That is good. Not the TikTok one, but I've had feta pasta before and it's good. How big is the need for 3D artists in the food industry? That's a good question. I think a better question suited for somebody like Patrick 40. He does a lot of that stuff, actually. So you should probably ask him. He also streams on this channel, and he's really, really talented. He goes back and forth from ZBrush to Cinema 40 and renders like really, really good looking food. He's done a whole bunch of billboard ads and food packaging ads and things like that. So you can definitely ask him. A hearty name. Hi Alex, how's it going? Angelic in the front, cheeked up in the back. Yeah, man. Yeah. Double cheeked up Tuesday afternoon. Alright. Yeah, let's give this real quick. Actually don't want to do that. Let's go back in time. Let me see here. Let's grab this guy, split him off. Split hidden. There we go. And this one, going to, I think, have his armies hanging down there. You can't tell. I like putting, I like using birds and like sort of plant and flowers and things like that in a lot of the more abstract designs that I make. I find they make for some very fun creature designs. Elegance, but also very odd and kind of disturbing sometimes. Hi Michael, what's up? With butt cheeks. Ballerina bug, it could. Still, I'm thinking kind of like crustacean. I'm just trying to think about how I'm gonna do it though. In the back here, pulling these guys. Kind of create like a little bit more of like a crab type thing from the bottom. I'm just gonna go in here and demask these areas to split that off. This guy right here, I'm gonna do this out. Like this. I'm gonna make these guys the long pinsies. Big pinsies. So I'm gonna go into Sculptress Pro here as well. Actually, no, I don't want to do Sculptress Pro. I'm gonna do it like this. Let's go ahead and grab another IMM. Learned about porcelain crabs today and their little filter fins. Reminds you of some of the motifs. Yeah, they've got a lot of like little fun little biddies underneath. Like same with like things like horseshoe crabs and stuff like that. They've got like lots of complexity under something super plain on the top. I like that contrast in terms of like a design as well. Knowing you're not worried about polygons, but if you did remesh, what would be the Z remesh to keep details, or would you Dynamesh? So yeah, so something like this, I Dynamesh. And then like if this had to go, let's say at this stage, I'm like, yeah, this is going in something like past what I'm doing right now. We're gonna put it into a movie. Okay, well then we would need to start discussing which parts of this are actually going to be geometry or not. So something like this, like if it is geometry, which it doesn't seem like it, you know, maybe it would be something more hair generation, right? And same with like feathers and things like that, like filigree, all the, like little like fins and things like that. You could do with like a hair gen or something. And then, you know, if this is games as well, you could do something like this with cards also. So you would maybe instead just break all of those off and then rebuild the bottom part, whatever. Something like this isn't even in T-pose though, right? So if I wanted to put something like this into production, I'd have to put it into T-pose. This is quite literally, I'm not thinking about any of that, right? I'm just sketching, because if I do start thinking about stuff like that, then that kind of constricts what it is that you're doing, like just to have fun. And you're kind of like limiting, and sometimes that's a good thing. Like how much can you get away with within, like, you know, a constraint, right? Constraints are not necessarily a problem at all, but when I'm sketching just for fun, just for myself, when I don't really know what to do, this is sort of the way that I like to do it. It allows like the most freedom, and you're allowed to like kind of make mistakes and mess up, and you know, it's like, who cares? There's no rules. But if you are doing something very specific, then you should always be thinking about where it's going and if something is even feasible. if you'd be interested in being interviewed. What do you mean? What do you mean, interviewed? Like what format? Question. I've been interviewed a few times in the past. I'm very awkward in interviews. Kind of trying to create some sort of like a interesting claw shape right here. Again, I'm keeping things really like low res until it doesn't need to be. And these guys right here be back end of the shell. So I kind of want to take this and push it all out. Hold on, let's try something. Make it more grabby. I'm not gonna do the eyes though. Well, okay, wait. So maybe just this. Not. So it is more like a tab. My angelic crustacean. Giving face hugger at the same time here. This down. Trying to figure out leg placement right now. Like to like house things inside of each other. Again, I'm like creating a flow overall. I find the simplicity in the complexity. MP4 format? What? Wait, what? Am I doing something wrong? I'm confused. Hi, hired. Normal interview, not a job. No, I'm aware of that. I'm very aware of that. Oh my god. Yeah, here, like, let's do a job interview, but let's like stream it to the stream it, or let's like Instagram live it. Imagine that. Imagine interviewing for a job, but it was live. Oh my god. Hey chat, do you think I got the position? Hey chat. Should I ask for a raise? Hey chat, what do you think about that? What do you think about the bonuses they're offering in that package? It would be so messed up. That would be so dystopian. I guess it would, like, honestly, like, it would fit the times. I'm surprised that I haven't seen that. I'm wondering if that's been a thing. If somebody's actually done that. Like, gone for those, because the thing in, like, they've been having, like, these, like, kind of messed up sort of AI like based interviews. I've been seeing people are like saying, oh yeah, I go through like the first stage of interview and it's just some BS like AI voice or something like that, and I'm almost like wondering where are like the really intense YouTubers who are just like, you know, titles of video, I try to get a job but chat is telling me what to tell in the interview the whole time, or something like that. Prediction and polls for everything. Yeah, it's just like, wait, hold on, let me think about that answer, and it's just waiting for chat to like catch up. You start reading. I'm sorry, this is some brain rot right now. If I had less fear of being perceived and a little less of like a moral standing or whatever you have it, like, I don't know what the word is. Have some pretty banger YouTube ideas. Twitch plays a job interview. Exactly. Like, where is that? Like, like, where is it? I feel like that would be like that would take off right now because nobody can get jobs. One of the big malls in France interviewed in Metaverse. It was as awful as you can. Dude, oh my god. I can't believe the Metaverse is even still a thing. That's insane. Does anyone use it? I don't think people use it. I don't even use my Oculus anymore. It's just kind of sitting there collecting dust. It's like, I feel like VR had such a potential at some point, but it's just they couldn't get past, like, I feel like they can't get past, like, the bulky headsets. Like, that idea of, like, the Metaverse is so... it's just, I don't want screens anymore. I don't want knobs and buttons. Analog. Alright, no problem, Sharky. Sorry. I went off on a tangent. Have a great evening. Okay, if I were to do... Hey, look, it's the horoscope Cancer. That's what it is. We're doing horoscope angels. I'm not here to do that angel thing. It is angelic. You like beating up NPCs in VR? Makes you feel tough. That's good. The headset is too... It's too chunky for me. I couldn't, like, I like sketching, like, gesturally in sort of, like, free space and stuff like that. That's, like, really neat. but I think this sort of like, so I'm very much the type of person, I like to sit at my station and just start working. So with VR, it kind of feels like a sort of like a setup. Like I gotta put on the thing, I gotta put it, like, you know, if I want music, then I mean I could just get speakers, but I, you know, if I want headphones, I gotta put that in. I gotta like put that over top of the heads. I gotta find my thingies. If I lose them, then I'm like, where is it? You know, nothing's like hooked up. It's like a whole thing, so I don't really have like a station for it either, where it's just like, if I want to paint, I just like turn my chair, I start painting, right? If I want to do this, I just turn my chair and I start doing this. Like, I don't like the barrier. This barrier is, I gotta open this app in the VR thing as well. I'm just sounding like a grandma right now. Yeah, personal info. I don't know if anybody owns themselves anymore. Give me gizmos or give me death. You making a shirt line? £98 and wearing a VR headset, you think the person would fall over because of the weight? I mean, it depends. It really depends, I guess. I don't know if they're like super weak, maybe. It does start hurting my head. Like I'm not 98 pounds small, but it does start hurting my neck after a while, and my face starts to hurt. Like I can only wear it like maybe like 2 hours at a time, like at max too, because it like pushes and it's not super comfortable. Even though I've got like things for comfort and stuff, it just doesn't work with me. Give me as analog as possible. If I had like an entire backyard and space and like a garage and stuff, like I can promise you I'd be like stretching massive canvases and doing like these huge like analog paintings and stuff. I love that. I love working that way. Get the studio's merch, it increases your chances of getting hired by 30% according to— oh my good lord. That sounds like a absolute plant. That sounds like an ad. Like, that also sounds like super— how do I say something? Like suck up. Like you're such a suck up, you know? I guess like some companies really want that, but what the heck? Thanks, Maddie. Can you imagine going to the beach and this crab comes out walking in the ocean on his 2 legs? See, the thing is, it's more like it's swimming, I think, like, and walking. It walks with these guys, which I gotta thicken up a little bit more, and these are its, like, front pincers, so you can imagine that it, like, it can actually— its pincers are at the back end. Here? This is what I'm thinking. Yeah, and functionality is still out to lunch right now. But we'll get there. But the idea would be, like, you know, something more like this. And that it could, like, pull them down and back while it's swimming and things. And then this way, too, Let's see. I'm not sure because like its feeding is up there, so I'm just kind of wondering. I guess like it could grab things, and then maybe these are not. Maybe it has like a second set of grabbers. Yeah, maybe I'm gonna do that. We're just gonna complicate the heck out of its leg system. Wear a full Master Chief armor casually holding the figurine while being interviewed. Yeah, so you might see that I like Halo. I don't know. I think like with the way that the landscape in terms of like game devs and stuff, like the whole like hire fans thing has been going, and just sort of, I don't know if anybody has been hearing over the past year how people are like, oh, see, devs don't know what they're doing, you have to hire fans, like that kind of nonsense. Not that like being a fan is a bad thing, like it's good, but it doesn't mean that you know how to make the game, right? I feel like in that sense, it could technically, depending on who interviews you, could work against you to be hyper, like, look, I'm like wearing the merch, you know, like I love this game, I'm obsessive, you know? I don't know. Guess it really depends. I know at one point, I think Riot, I don't know if they're still like this, but a few years back, it was just like, it was almost like required, I think, every day at some point to be playing League of Legends to work there. Like you had to, at least that's what I heard. I don't know if that was like if that's still a thing or what. So it's like really dependent, because I think that could be pretty off-putting for some. Hi, Eduardo. You thought you found a green bee? Was it maybe a fly? Or an emerald bee? Emerald bees are also a thing. Okay, let's see here. What do I want to do? Let's do... What if I go a little crazy here? Might be too much. No. I think not. We could try something else though with that. This guy. Let me try and make this look a little bit more convincing, like it's coming from under the shell. That's what we want. Is required to be hired there? Yeah, for a period. I don't know if they're still doing that, but yeah, that was a thing that I heard as well. What did you do this weekend? You play a hole. That's exactly what I did also. My kids thinking, yeah, I had to get my my quota of League of Legends in, otherwise I'd be fired. Goddamn. For some positions, you get that support, for example. Knowing the game makes the job way easier most of the time, but it won't necessarily make you someone with empathy and able to explain things without losing your cool. Yeah. Yeah. You. Delete that one. I want to do the twist. That's what I want. Sometimes I like to just like control the twist myself though, with a mask and the gizmo like this. Poupon, how are you? Hi, Rodlums. Bob Red. Dark Souls vibes. I think everything that I do on this stream, people say it looks like Dark Souls. When I'm using the snake hook tool, what do I prefer the Z intensity to be at? 100. I'm not even joking. It's always 100. If you don't like that, just use the move brush. I think that would just be easier. Just use move and then do small movements at a time. Snake hook, otherwise, like I like to just whoosh. Sun. This happens, by the way, it's because of a normals like issue, so all you have to do is hit mirror and weld and that will fix it so that the normals are averaged. Looking for a little bit of a rest spot in here for the eyes, and I think right in here, put that. I think these guys can have a little bit more contrast in terms of shape. So I'm gonna bring this down. Did I have time to play Monster Hunter Wilds recently? No, I literally haven't played it for months now. I have not gone back. After the update 1, I played a little bit of that, and then that was it. There's a fire alarm, guys. I think I'm gonna have to stop streaming a little early, unfortunately, because of a fire alarm. If I, you know, if I can come back, then I will, but yeah, I'm gonna have to go, okay? Because of the fire alarm, unfortunately. I don't know if you can hear it, it's very loud. Okay. I will hopefully be back, but probably not. So yeah, also goodbye. I know, I'm sorry. Anyways, if you guys are interested, I'll just drop this stuff really quick and then I gotta run. Here is links if you want to see future streams. Anyways, I will be going. Okay, bye.